Okay, so boom, the wildest thing I done did for some cat. Now I didn't want to drop this story because my homeboy still don't know to this day. Maybe he won't know that I'm talking about him. But I ended up, you know what I'm saying, smacking his sister, which he knew about, but I ended up being petty when I got out of juvie, and I went on a mission to basically, you know what I'm saying, smack his mama, and that was my lick back, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like that was petty, but I was always the dude who was very strategic, very calculated, and a lot of things were a game to me, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. But how I ended up knocking his sister down, look, if you ever meet a girl that's like super duper tight with their mama to the point where they talk about everything, and they mama give you them vibes where it seems like she flirting, but deep down inside it might, you know what I'm saying? And as a young dude, when women doing that, you computing all that is, you can knock them down. I don't care the age, who they are, who they related to. If a woman said something to me back in the day when I was off the chain, especially if they made a reference of, if you was old enough, of if you was my age, and you look back in my day, I would have, if they said something like that, in my head back then, you most definitely would have tried me. And see, her mama was real tight to the point where they talked about everything together. Now, there's a lot of women out here who don't listen. I don't think your child should be talking to you about how good the good dude is, about the men that she messed with, because you got a lot of women out here who are asleep with their kids dudes. It's a lot of women out here who done did it. I know women, listen to me, I done knocked down some older women, you know what I'm saying, back home that was my mama age, you know what I'm saying, because you sharing too much information, or you got a little status and people talking about, you know what I'm saying, what you doing in the bedroom, you know what I'm saying. So I go to my homeboy house. His sister was one of them girls that everybody, you know what I'm saying, was after, you know what I'm saying, and she had one of them walks. That's what it was. She had one of them knock-knee, pigeon-toe, perfect walks. I'm talking about if she got the sundress on, I'm talking about it's just swallowing up the sundress, and she got to use them pinchers. And see, when they using the pinch, see, that's already like a little kink for me, you know what I'm saying, when they reaching in and they pulling that wedge out, you know what I'm saying, and you see, it's just how they turn to the side and do it, right? So I go on my homeboy house, and they in there talking about the night before, and she talking about a dude, and I know who bruh is. And she basically telling her mama that she wouldn't do it again. She don't consider it a one-night stand. Let me start right there. She didn't consider it a one-night stand because they was already talking and she liked the dude. But when they ended up messing around, she said that, you know what I'm saying, the middle of his body was too small, and now she didn't like him on the strength of that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to deal with him no more. So when I'm like, man, what is y'all in here talking? What is y'all in here talking about? You know who I'm talking about? You know, boom, boom. They get to telling me, she get to telling me little bits and pieces of the story, you know what I'm saying, about how he been chasing her and this. And her mama say, I wouldn't either. I ain't messing with no dude that can't, if he, I ain't messing with no dude that got there and from the back. And his mama was one of them too. But see, his mama worked up at the plant called Electrolux. It's called Electrolux now. Back then they called it Frigidaire. And you know, if I don't, listen to me, some of y'all listen to this know y'all family members work at them plants. If your family member work up at that plant, she might got a couple of bodies on her. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if she married, if she would, listen to me, if you working up at that plant, you suspect. Hey, my woman can't work in two places. She can't work in no factory, and she can't work in no prison. It just ain't gonna happen. Now I know in the workplace anywhere that's subject to happening, but them two places right there, off limits. Prison and a factory, it's a no-go, because you're gonna get to going in there. You got your dudes who wanna, they got their cologne real loud. They coming in, they thinking it's a fashion show. They doing the most flirting, they doing the most complimenting, they doing too much. If my woman can't work in no factory or no or no prison. So as her mama, you know what I'm saying, get to saying all of this stuff, she work up at the plant now. She work up at the plant. I ain't old enough to work at the plant. You know what I'm saying? At this age, you know what I'm saying, I think it might have been a little bit after working at KFC. Now, I couldn't have been because I was 15 at KFC. So yeah. This is a little bit after the attempted murder charge. Because I think after the attempted murder charge is when I ended up going up and working at the factory in Letreluk. So when her mama saying all this, I'm just kind of looking at her, you know what I'm saying? I got this is when the windbreakers was a, you know what I'm saying, the windbreakers was a thing too. I got the windbreakers on in my mind so managed, you know what I'm saying? My man done kind of stood up on me, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't ashamed, so I'm just standing right there. I ain't finna move, I ain't finna turn to the side or none of that. I'm waiting to catch some eye contact from them in the middle of my body. So her sister get that asking me, she was like, I can't talk to you because you bruh. Who? She was like, that just came out. I can't talk to you because you bruh. By this time, my homeboy coming out the back. He was like, man, what is y'all in here talking about, man? Boo, come on, bro. Let's go. But I took that as a mental note. You know what I'm saying? As what she said. And then as we walking out, as he stepped back in his room, as we getting ready to walk out though, her mama said, you don't need to be messing with that boy anyway. That boy crazy. And I done heard stories about that boy up there at the plant already. That boy got too much experience. Leave that boy alone. And I turned around, I said, man, y'all crazy. She said, ain't nobody crazy but you. But in my head, I heard what the sister said, but I most definitely heard what the mama said. Couple of weeks passed by. We got this spot in in Springfield, that little hole in the wall called Weasels, right? So we down here. This is back in the day when everybody used to walk everywhere too. You walk on the block, you know what I'm saying? We go down, we chill at the gas station, we chill at the fire department, you know what I'm saying? We chill on 14th, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just standing out everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And it's a fashion show, you know what I'm saying? And of course the girls halfway nude, you know what I'm saying? They ain't wearing too much, you know what I'm saying? And everybody trying to get some at the end of the night, right? So we down here, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know the history between me and my child and my child mama, right? So when I go down there, I'm scoping the area to make sure she ain't down there. My child mama was shy, you know what I'm saying? She was laid back, you know what I'm saying? Unless she with her sisters or when she was real cool with, I ain't gonna say people's names on her, right? So I'm knowing if I'm looking for my child mama, I need to be more so looking for the people that she hang around. And if the people she hang around there, I probably need to ask them, is she there? Or I need to pay attention to when they go to their cars, because my child mama probably sitting in the car chilling versus being out walking around. Not only was she shy, she know her baby daddy was a lunatic, so she ain't finna just be out walking around and somebody try down there. And I got that iron on me. I'm sitting to turn into John Wick 2.0. So as I walk around, I see my cousin. I see one of my cousins who real tight with her, right? So I could just flat out ask her, cause she ain't finna. But when I see my cousin, I was like, hey, I was like, what, mom? Simone ain't with you? She was like, no, she's supposed to be coming down here with such and such. She say this other girl. Now I know what kind of car this girl driving. So at this spot, everybody like to chill in their cars too. They chilling in their cars, just, you know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't out or they sitting on their hood. So I know what type of car this girl drive that she tell me that she's supposed to be coming down there with. So I scan the parking lot, you know what I'm saying? I don't see that particular car. So by the time I get through talking to Cuz, I see the girl, my homeboy sister, coming out of Weasels. I already acting too old for her age. Man, she come out of that thing. They listen to me. Come on. I need a no. The girl be cooking and cooking. She be constantly dusting and cleaning up. And when she step on the stage, everybody be looking and holler. She might holler, she took it, and then that part. And she walked, I'll just get to look at her like, look. I just get to look, and I said, ooh. And she walked, like, by the time she get close to me, I go and get her hair fixed. She rub on my back, then come around to the front, do a look, man, I get to look around for my homeboy, right? I said, oh, hey, you need to quit playing with me. She was like, ain't nobody playing with you. I mean, young, I don't know if she was on a pill at that age. I didn't know if she done had a little look in her. I don't know what it is, but she leaned up against me and get to kiss, and she kissed me on my neck. When she kissed me on my neck, she said, let me quit playing with you for somebody to tell your baby mama, or somebody tell your baby mama, or tell that crazy. Anyway, I said, man, I ain't worried about nothing. I said, man, what's up? She was like, she was like, now you got your, she was like, you take your gun everywhere, don't you? I was like, yeah, I'll take my gun everywhere. She was like, let me see it real quick. I was like, why would you ask me? Because you see my gun right here in front of everybody. She was like, just let me see the gun real quick. I said, nah, I ain't finna let you see my gun. I was like, man, you can go, I'll take you to the car, you can see the gun. We can go to the car, you can see the gun. She was like, come on, cause I want to hold it real quick. I bet you do. So we go to the car. When we get, I got the Bosch Chevy at the time. I'm talking about 415s, you know what I'm saying? The Alpha 2500 Alpha Watt amp. I'm talking about with the bass knob in there, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about my the CD player I had. I ain't had a flip the TV screen on it, boy. But you know my CD player, you know what I'm saying? It did all the what's the name? You know what I'm saying? It looked real high tech. You know what I'm saying? So we get in. I turn the car on, you know what I'm saying? Cause I turn her on, but you already know. As soon as I start the car up, I still had the music up from. So as soon as the car came, I said, let me turn it down. She's like, nah, you ain't gotta turn it down like I said, let me turn it down just a little bit. So it's beating. It's I turned the lights off on the car, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to come out. She was like, so why you be carrying that gun like it is? Is it true what everybody be saying about you? Is you crazy? You could tell me, because I ain't scared of you. I said, what? I said, I ain't crazy. I said, man, I ain't crazy. I said, man, I just ain't going, you know what I'm saying? Live a certain life out here, you know what I'm saying? You got to know what's going on when it's going on, you know what I'm saying? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, you know what I'm saying? She was like, And she hit me with one of them, and I know what them looks is. I said, oh, she very promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? So I pulled a gun, I pulled a strap out, sitting in my lap. She was like, why the clip ain't in it all the way? Why the clip ain't in it all the way? I was like, what you talking about? I hold it up. She was like, it ain't falling out neither. I popped the clip out, right? She was like, oh, it's a real long clip. I said, yeah, it's an extendo. I popped the boy back in. She was like, you got one in the head? I was like, oh, so you know a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying about that. I said, nah, I ain't got one. I ain't got one in the head right now. You know what I'm saying? She was like, well, dang, can I hold it? She was like, what color is it? I said, oh, it's that blue steel right there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She was like, I like it. It looked like you know, back in the day, they used to call them cars, they used to say, what they used to call them cars, they used to flip colors, drop it in the comments. What's the name? What they used to call them cars? They used to flip-flop, with the flip-flop paint job, right? She was like, it looked like it changed color like a flip-flop, because that blue, when you see it, it's black, but if you turn it, it's shiny. You can see that blue like it was serenaded in that black. It was so pretty. She was like, well, you gonna let me hold it? I was like, here. She was like, for real? I was like, you now you gonna act like. So she grabbed the strap, right? She hollered, this make me horny. I said, let me get my strap. She was like, oh, I said that. I'm thinking now the word would have been, that's toxic. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with you? She was like, I ain't gonna lie. She get up and sit in my lap. You know, in the Chevy, you know, I got the you know what I'm saying, and lean straight back, right? So I lean back. She leaned down. She was like, you know we don't supposed to be doing this as cool as you is with my brother. I said, man, you know that's bro, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? By that time, she get to kissing me, right? Listen to me. Oh, we added in here. I'm talking about, listen to me. She I hate when people call me when I'm trying to record. Listen to me. I hope it don't mess up my video neither. I thought I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. But anyway, she got the son. She raised up and take, you know what I'm saying? She take them out, right? The way she's sitting on me, like it, so Big Purse sitting on my stomach, right? When she raising up on me, you can hear. I'm talking about must have made her that for real. I'm talking about. I'm thinking to myself like, dang. You know what I'm saying? So she can I sit on it? Of course. What you mean? So anyway, it ended up going down, right? Me and his sister, me and brother's sister was, you know what I'm saying? He ended up finding out about it because she got into it with her homegirl because her homegirl liked me, but they was at the house in her room, so they done got to arguing. Brother heard them arguing, and he been trying to smash the girl who liked me. So by the time bruh asked them what's going on, she tell the friend tell bruh, you know what I'm saying? Bruh called me, dang bruh, you said. I explained this like, bro, come on, bro. At the end of the day, he was like, I'd rather her be dealing with you than anybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like, but dang, bro, you could have told me, you know what I'm saying, you and sis, such. Now you really okay with it because now you feel like that's done been exposed. Me and her messing around, you feel like the friend thought he finna hit my car. You feel like now you got an opportunity to really deal with the homegirl, right? That's all that was. That's the only reason why you were cool with it. So me and her, we were smash buddies, but we really wasn't, you know what I'm saying? And we were super duper tight. So she ended up messing with another, you know what I'm saying, one of our homeboys, right? Cause we ain't together. We ain't. Of course, I'm messing with other people. I was super duper mad, and she get mad because I did end up knocking the girl down that bruh found out through. You know what I'm saying? I guess the girl ended up telling her she called herself, I guess, trying to sleep with one of the homeboys and flex on me and all this old stuff. And she tried to go to, but I ended up getting locked up. When I ended up getting locked up, it had to be the attempted murder case. When I ended up getting locked up, you know what I'm saying, she writing me letters or whatever, you know what I'm saying, I'm writing her, she'll answer the phone every now and then, but one day she ended up getting disrespectful just on, because I called and I was like, I said something like, man, you knew I was trying to call you or whatever. She go off on the phone like, you act like I'm supposed to answer the phone for you every time you call. Like, I do enough as it is, and you ain't even my dude. Like, you ain't even never want to give me an opportunity. You were messing with this girl and that girl and this and that, and I really liked you. Like, she started pouring out her feelings. You know what I'm saying? And this and that. And like, dude, don't even call me no more. She get to hit me with the don't call her no more. And this, that. I'm talking about just going out. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm really like, cool. I ain't tripping on none of that. So, but when I get out, I started working up at the factory. I started working up at the factory. Get what? Her mama her mama up there at the factory. So when I come after I get acclimated, you know what I'm saying, lunch break was the time to shine. The lunch break was, you know what I'm saying, or if you got a moment, if the line shut down and you could just move around for just a quick second. But the lunch break really was the time to shine, or getting there early, or when it's time to leave, because everybody used to go down the street. Everybody used to go down to this gas station and chill. Look like a little party after work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on lunch break. I'm on lunch break one day. I'm going through the line. Her mama come through the door on some. I ain't know you worked up here. When you start working up here, she was like, I'm glad you got a job and such and such. She get to talking about and it was a lady behind me. She was like, oh, you know him? But she said that it was almost to me as if it was code of, is he, can I, or have you, or should I go behind you? She was like, I know him. Sure do. And she hit her with one of them, right? I'm looking, I said, what? She was like, oh, really? Oh, really? What is you talking about? And she was like, how you know him? She was like, my daughter. She was like, oh, I almost said her name. Oh, he used to, nah, they wasn't together, but he used to had my baby messed up for a long time. I remember when she told me she didn't want to, she said she wasn't gonna answer the phone for you no more. Came in the room upset. She was real messed up that you messed around with her friend and she really liked you. She felt like you ain't never give her no opportunity. And she used to just tell me how, and I told her, I said, she said, I told her, the only reason why you feel like it is because that boy is all up in you, and he doing all them things. He got all that experience. You don't really know if you like that boy. That boy good dude got your mind, got your judgment clouded. I'm sitting there, I'm like, they still like talking about what's going on. So I hit her, and I'm thinking about if the middle of her body, if her daughter middle was like that, the mama, she had to get that from her mama. That's what I'm thinking. I said, man, it really wasn't in like that. She was like, why you were doing my baby like that? The woman behind her just sitting there like, oh, so you doing, oh, so you packing? Is that what you trying? Is that what she's trying to say? You packing? I said, man, what? Let me get my food, and cause y'all, we sitting here having this conversation in the cafeteria like that. So I get my food, I go sit down. Her mama come over and sit from across me. She was like, you like working up here? She was like, I'm glad you up here because people get out of jail and go right back to the, she was like, I'm glad you, because you always seem like you had a decent head on your shoulders and I know your people and, you know, you can do better and this. She running all this down to me talking, you know what I'm saying, like she my mama or whatever. So she get to ask me, she was like, so you and my daughter, she was like, why didn't you never? I was like, you want me to be real? I was like, we ain't never, you know what I'm saying, even had them kind of conversations, you know what I'm saying? She ain't never tell me she liked me or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't even trying to, you know, we were just, she was like, I know. She told me. She used to tell me all the time. She told me about you being able to. I said, dude, I said, what? I said, man, I'm not finna. She was like, you fine with me. Like, I see you as a son and this and that. She go on and saying all of this stuff that she was saying. And then I started thinking about how her daughter talked to me when I was in that jail. How her daughter talked to me when I was in that jail. I said, man, I ain't finna sit here and talk. I said, let me get on up out of here. I said, the break almost over. And I said, can I be real with you? She was like, what is it? I said, man, I said, shoot, I would have took you more serious than her. She was like, boy, I'm old enough to be your mama. But what you mean? I'm just saying. I said, man, I would have took you more serious than your daughter. She was like, I have heard you got experience with older women. You ain't ready for nothing like this. I was like, you probably here go the game right here. You probably right, you know what I'm saying? And if it's an extension of your daughter, you know what I'm saying, it probably ain't all that anyway. I walk all right. Hold on. What you mean? Hold on. What you mean? So now when people talking to me in the plant, I got a homeboy up at the plant. I tell my homeboy that what I told her, right? He was like, she be over there flirting with me and stuff all the time. I said, next time you tell her your homeboy said that it probably wasn't all that anyway. Get what my homeboy do is real. My homeboy tell her, it wasn't dude, my homeboy said it really probably ain't even hitting on none of that, hitting like that anyway, because your daughter really wasn't here. She come and holler at me. Now, one thing is to be up here telling people about my daughter, but the next you ain't gonna be up here lying on my coot, and you don't even know what you talking about, and until you get it, you need not to speak on it. I said, well, I don't think, I'm just speaking from the past down or where it come from. Well, I can't speak for my daughter. I can only speak for myself, and I can show you better than I can tell you. Well, you gonna have to show me, cause other than that, I ain't. I'm not finna do that with you. I am not about to do that with you. I ain't. Couple days go by. She done gave me a number, told me to come over to the house. I go over to the house, same house my homeboy done grew up in, where it says they don't live there no more. They wasn't there at that time. I go over there with the intentions of, I can't wait to run into her again, or she try to pop off on me again, and I'm gonna tell her, man, listen, I wanted your mama way more than I wanted you. I couldn't listen. I went over there and pulled out every move I had in my arsenal. Listen to me. I was over there. Her mama really slutting me out. I ain't even gonna say, because I was over there just willing to do it all, just on the strength of being able to tell her, man, you ain't talking about nah, not your mama. That it ain't even about my homeboy. It ain't even about my homeboy. And guess what? I actually ended up getting that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting that opportunity one day. Me and her, we having a decent little conversation, and she brought up again, I never gave her an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you remember, I was like, I started to really like you, know what I'm saying, when we was in the gym, you know what I'm saying, having conversation, we were kicking it real heavy, all this and that. She was like, well, you ain't never said. I was like, me being a street dude, you know, I ain't one of them that just gonna articulate how I felt back then. I'm figuring me calling on the regular, writing you back. She was like, nah, that could be jail talk. My mama told me that could be jail talk. I said, your mama told you that? She was like, yeah. She was like, you know, my mama always. I said, I think your mama liked me. Boy, then my mama didn't like you. I don't know why all my brother friends think mama liked them. Mama was just such and such and such and such and such and such. She was just cool, and everybody knew my mama was laid back and this and that. I said, I knocked her down. I ain't even want to spread her. She said, what? What you just say? I said, look. Check this out. Let me tell you something. I said that we were kids when we had what we had going on. She said, no, you just said you messed around with my mom. I'm about to call and ask my mom. I said, hold on. I said, you went off on me when you were down there in the jail. When I was down there in the jail, I said, man, when I did that little time for the 10 murder and I came home, you know what I'm saying, your mama really was shooting her shot at me. I pulled up, you know what I'm saying, I pulled up, went over to the house, I got to telling her about certain things. She said, oh, no, you got me messed up. I don't never want to talk to you again and this and that. I said, I'm going to be real with you. I just wanted to get my lick back from all that disrespect you said on that phone. I said, so I figured I'd go over there and knock your mama down. And that's the pettiest thing I've ever did for some cash.